everybody, to Remotely Renee. We are on episode 26. The WNBA celebrating their 25th anniversary. This is episode 26. I don't know why that matters, but I just liked it. Let me welcome in my two lit crew, VP, Snook, and Cole. So we have released some NFTs to the world. We're calling it my starting five. It's exciting because as an entrepreneur, people can understand that when you're selling something or when you're putting something out there, you just hope people like it. You hope people buy it. And so I was so relieved that I saw we got our first bid, and that was on the threes. There's an NFT that to commemorate the 7 threes in 1/2. That's a WNBA record. And
I was there.
Huh?
I was saying I was there.
And VP was there. And then somebody actually bought, which one was it? The rings. They bought number 1 of 6 for the 6 rings. So it's exciting. We're excited over here. I mean, there's been other bids and different things, but I'm just talking about when I first had my first one, it was exciting. So I want to ask the two lit crew. Let's start with you, Snooka Booka. Which one was your favorite of the 5, of my starting 5? Which one did you like the most?
The MEM jerseys, 1 of 21.
Okay. So that was your favorite, Cole. Which one was your favorite?
I gotta say, hands down, 7 threes, and you guys know why.
Yes, tell us why, Cole. Tell us why.
Because Bryce's voice is the voice that's talking through it, and I love it. I love the energy. I love the way the little people are on it and everything like that. The way they have them set up on where you shot the threes. Love it. That was my favorite.
Okay, so when Cole says Bryce, she's referring, you guys don't know, but she's referring to her son.
Bryce.
Yes, that's her son. So my nephew, people might not know it, he has this super deep baritone voice, which is made for entertainment purposes. He's going to be on commercials. I already know it. So you best believe that I threw my baby on the NFT and he's the guy that's screaming and it's incredible. That's my nephew. VP, what's your favorite?
I'd say originally it was the rings one, but I liked how the 7 threes one got put all together. And then, but yeah, like all the music made everything look, look better and sound better, obviously.
Crispy.
Yeah, the music. So the whole process, just so you guys know, it's not an easy process. You have to think of a concept. So we're thinking, okay, what's the 5 monumental moments? And then you have to put together how you want it. Then you have to try to relay. Shouts to Heartland Group for just bringing everything to life, because it's hard to get a picture of what you have in your mind onto paper and have designers bring out what you wanted to see. And Heartland Group, they assembled a squad to bring together these NFTs, and we'll talk about that later and happening. But for right now, let's see what's on the scoreboard, VP.
All right, so the first one, SEC conference, not the SEC like the whatever federal government stuff. They sent each of the schools in the conference $23 million to make up for Corona-related losses. How do you guys feel about that?
Okay, so for me, it's interesting because I don't want to hear anything about any programs not making it then, because I heard that there was a lot of women's programs shutting down. I heard that schools were prioritizing. They're not going to use that word, but certain programs just were not able to function during the pandemic due to funds. So when I hear things like this, all I think of is that every women's program better be thriving in the SEC. You guys got $23 million to make sure the school is running properly. I want to see it running properly for everyone. We already know how things were handled in the NCAA when it came to funds and the tournament and different things like that. So I love to see the SEC is bailing out the teams there, the schools there, but I just want to make sure that money trickles out to everyone. What are your thoughts, Cole? I saw you making some faces.
I have a question, Paul, just to make sure I'm understanding correctly. So did they just now send them the 23, or did they send them the 23 during the pandemic?
No, they just sent it to him.
They just sent them to him. Okay. So, because I was like, well, I don't understand how anybody was shut down with $23 million, because some of those programs don't even get $23 million on a regular. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. I know it's got to be spread amongst different, sports and everything, but I mean, I'm glad they did send it. And that means this year coming up needs to be the bomb, because 23 million, everybody needs to level up.
Well, that's not a lot of money though, right?
Doesn't matter, because the thing is, they said that they were shut down because of what funds they did not receive or did not have. Then we give you a $23 million boost. And then if the world is supposed to be opening back up, then you should be a little bit better than you were before. That's all I'm saying. It needs
Yeah.
to be some intentional. The money needs to be intentional. That's all I need to say is where they put it.
I like that. What you think, Snook?
Well, my thing is if they come up with some kind of protocol or some kind of equation so that they equally distribute that amongst the programs instead of like, you know, when you have a wheel and you don't like all your family members. So
Okay.
only you have to give them $1 and that's okay. So if you are not, you know, liking the sport or you're not funding it well anyway, why, you know, you want to make sure that all sports get an equal distribution according to whatever protocol you use and not just, you know, give them $1 and just say, okay, I did give them something.
Okay, but does anybody have any thoughts in general?
And that's why I said intentional. Make sure that the money isn't put to where it needs to be intentionally instead of just saying, oh, well, the men's program did bring in more money, so let's give them a little bit more money than we give, like Mom said, just to say I gave you some, I can give you $5. Can you live off $5? You can't live off of it, but I did give you something. That's what I agree with Mom. Intentional.
So the number of what they averaged, what they lost per athletic program was 45 million.
Wow.
So
So
that's not even like covering it.
that's what I would say, Cole, when you were saying that's not even a lot of money. So that money isn't going to be enough to be dispersed around to everyone. Or if it is, they're going to have to figure out a way. Cause to that point, they're only giving them half of what they would need anyway. So I'm just curious of how that 23 million is going to be sprinkled about,
Well, you know how they're going to get it. They still charge everybody full tuition. So they're good.
Ugh, facts. Facts only. What else you got?
The WNBA just made a partnership, the first betting partnership with Point Bet. So that's a pretty big accomplishment because like if you bring in sports betting into women's sports, then people are going to bet on it.
What's your thoughts on that, Snooker Booker?
Hey, if the men, whatever the men are doing, you know, I'm all for us to jump in because they seem to be doing okay.
I can't. Cole?
I agree. And also, it'll also make people watch. A lot more people watch women. If they can make more money, people are going to try to make more money. So they're going to start engaging more in the women's sports to make sure their money is right.
$1 will make them holler. Listen, we know that people will spend their mortgage, their car note, their life savings to bet. Like people gamble. That's what people do. And we know that the sports betting industry is exploding right now. So I love to see it. Listen, the WNBA, that's what we need to do. We need to get sports betting just like everyone else. We need to get Top Shots. We need to get things that will bring people in for different reasons, because I don't see the NFL, the NBA, or any other sports leagues complaining that they have a fan because, oh, they just like to see the player sneakers. Look, we don't care why you're here. Like, I don't care if you're following the WNBA because you think the players are pretty. I don't care if you're following the WNBA because you're a sneakerhead and you want to see, or you like their clothes. People follow the NBA for that reason. I'm just putting that out there because a lot of people are like, no, we want people that only are going to support the women for women empowerment and different things. Y'all know I like to empower women as much as the rest of us, but fans have different reasons for why they come to things. And so you have to leave all those avenues open so that you can get those doors and those people in on whatever it is. And betting, as we know, is a huge way to bring in fans. So I love to see it. What else you got, VP?
Yeah, you know, last year I was doing some WNBA betting and I was lit because I just got know some stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, but how did you do that last year before it was?
No, they had like the fantasy stuff.
It was illegal.
Fantasy.
In the back room.
No, the fantasy, not like betting the team straight up, like the fantasy stuff. Like
the fantasy basketball. I was about to say, what in the Peaky Blinders is going on? Okay, so
it was lit.
Okay, so you was doing the fantasy league type of stuff. But yeah, you see, like people can start leagues and different things. Yeah, we need all of that. We need all of the avenues of income. That's what you got to do as a business. What else you got?
All right, so I know we haven't brought up Tim Tebow, so it had to happen on this show, right?
Oh my God.
I mean, it's been like 3 weeks. He's been in the news, so I had to put it up.
But what do you have to tell us about Tim Tebow?
His jersey went on sale for the Jags, and it's the #1 jersey already in one day.
It's the #1 jersey.
He hasn't played in 10 years, but we kind of already knew this, and the Mets, I think if Corona didn't happen, I think they were going to call him up just to get some jersey sales.
So let me just tell you, there's a whole debate going on. So first of all, he's the number one in sales in his jersey in women, kids, and men's sizes. First of all, so he took all the categories, Tim Tebow. Another thing is he's the first player in history to have the number one selling jersey in 5 different franchises. So basically, wherever he goes, he sells the most jerseys, literally number one, not just on his team. He's number one in the league with this stuff. So it's kind of crazy. And so there's a lot. So the debate is, do you guys know about the debate, Snook, Cole? I'm going to brief everyone on the debate. Is there a problem that people think that Tim Tebow might have just got a job to sell jerseys? They think that there's deserving players that may not get a job because they don't have that type of marketability, but they have the skill set and the talent. So there's this really big debate going on about, is that okay? Is that not okay? And so when his jerseys hit number one, a lot of people are like, see, this is why you have him, because he's going to sell a lot of jerseys. But then other people are like, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, because people said that if Colin Kaepernick were on a team, his jersey would sell out too. There's a sentiment that he would have sold a lot of jerseys as well. So what are y'all's feeling, Cole? I would love to hear your thoughts.
I don't know if y'all want to hear my thoughts on it.
I want to hear them all.
Unfortunately, I think this is just simply ridiculous. I think that it is ridiculous. Number one, when people do the comparison, it's not the same comparison in what we're talking about with Kaepernick and with Tebow. Number one, Kaepernick is not trying to come back as a linebacker and never had played in that position and then walk in front of all the linebackers who've been training for however many years in college or potentially trying to stay in the league who are linebackers. He's not walking in front. That's not what Colin Kaepernick is coming back as a quarterback. Tim Tebow said, I know I can't come back as this position. I'm just going to try my hand at that. And the coach was like, you know what? We're going to let you try. I have a problem with that. That to me, this is simply just simply ridiculous. I'm sorry, it is. An athlete is an athlete, and yes, they can switch them up. But come on, he hasn't played for years. We don't even know. Come on.
The reason why is
it doesn't sound crazy to other people.
It's his coach from college, so it would be like Renee playing for Gino and wherever land.
I think
Gino wouldn't let Renee come in as a 5 after not playing for how many years. He wouldn't say, "Oh, Renee, you know what? You were good as a guard. Go on underneath that."
First of all, Coach Ariema cut me from the USA national team, so it's not the same. Coach Ariema don't play that. Like he's gonna pick who he thinks
is the best. I was just giving the example.
Squad.
I wasn't saying he'd actually.
I get what you're saying, Paul. Is because he knows that Tebow has this potential, and that's all fine and dandy. But what I'm saying is that he's not prepared to be a tight end. He was not a tight end. He did in the NFL. It's just simply, I know they trade, like usually that change happens in college. People come in as one thing, they change them over, they go into the pros is another thing. Yeah. It's not really a shift of movement from a quarterback to a tight end. That's totally ridiculous to me.
Look, there's a large group of people, Cole, that agree with you. I mean, it's not like you're saying something people aren't saying. Snook, what do you think? Are you for it? Like, I mean, it's marketing wise, I will say this, marketing wise, genius. I mean, you can't fault people. He became the number one selling jersey in like one day. It's the craziest stuff ever. But to that point, is it fair?
Selling a sport.
Say it again. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Is jersey selling a sport?
I mean, to answer your question,
teams like money, so sort of.
It's money games.
I think that those the NFL is not hurting for money.
Yeah, but the Jaguars are like one of the worst franchises. Like
they're gonna put their players team dollars, and then you're gonna do something like are your books not right and you need money?
Well, also if you didn't know, also the Jags coach, he's the only minority owner in the league, and he got called out like several times for not signing Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, So there's that. Another thing is, I wonder if this adds to anything, but I don't know if you guys know Cole, but Tim Tebow and his coach are neighbors. They live about 3 houses down from
I don't
each
even want to
other.
hear about this because this is
Yeah.
if all he has to do is be a son, it's called nepotism. That's all I gotta say.
But the
That's
real,
all I
all right,
gotta say.
the biggest,
I won't do it on the show.
the biggest stat is he hasn't played football in 10 years. So it's like
10 years.
it's not
You know
even. That's
what?
not even. Who cares what
I
position
haven't-
he played? He hasn't played 10 years.
I haven't got on the court and played like a real basketball game in 10 years. Renee, can I come down to Atlanta and try out? And walk on the
No.
court and be taken seriously? Like,
Oh my goodness, no,
you know, we're family. I mean, I know you, you know me, you know my potential. Can I come down to
You
Atlanta?
are a hard worker, Cole. I will say that. You have good
Okay.
work ethic.
Okay, so is Tim Tebow. That's all fine. Danny. Would you let me on your court with your people you have right now? And I ain't played in over 10 years.
No, I got a business to run.
Amen.
Selling a sport.
What'd you say?
Jersey
She said,
selling a sport. I mean, I don't even understand this. Jersey selling. I mean, come on now. I mean, there's all kinds of things you could look at, you know, when you're talking about building your team, and you're building your team on the fact that someone can sell some jerseys.
Yeah.
What if he actually does well? Do we care? I mean, do people care about that? Like, what if he kills it?
Well, then that would be determined. But if he goes out there and he looks terrible, they
They're
would be the
promoting
last.
that. They're not promoting that. They're promoting his jersey sales. I mean, if I was a person, I would be kind of indignant about that, because, you know, maybe I can do good in this position that they're going to put me in, but they're banking on me selling jerseys.
I think he should have just stuck to baseball because he was pretty close. Like he was doing pretty good.
But you got to think from his point of view, he's like, oh, snap, my college coach moved next door to me. We're having dinner every night. I want to see, you know, I love football. I want to stay around football. He even said, look, thank you to my teammates and the coaching staff. I look forward to taking direction from you guys. Like, he's like, you know, he's all in because this is a great situation. And meanwhile, like you said, VP, he's been in the news for 3 weeks. The Jacksonville Jaguars have the #1 pick. They picked Trevor Lawrence as the #1 pick. And all we're talking about is Tim Tebow. So that's kind of crazy.
Paul, I'd like to ask you, what percentage of this jersey sales does he get?
I don't know. It's decided by the league and the PA and stuff.
Well, you know, if I could just say I'm something and then they bank on my jersey
You have to
sales,
ask Renee something about that.
you know, maybe that's good. Maybe he gets 25%. So if he's the highest seller, maybe it's $25 million, you know.
Nah,
Yeah,
he's
good
good
for
on
him.
money
And let
too.
me just say this. This has nothing to do with Tim Tebow as the human because he's actually
Yeah.
amazing. I just saw the stuff that he was doing on human trafficking. There was a story where his dad came across a lady that was stuck in human trafficking and she was like, please help me. Like, you know, like that's all she could tell him. And her dad, they realized that once you save somebody from human trafficking, they've been uprooted from their life, everything. And so they basically need somewhere to go. Like you can't just, it's not enough to just take them out of it. You have to also provide like that next step for him. So him and his dad have a huge initiative. The things that he does off the field are amazing. So I want people to understand it's not about that.
No, I have a problem
Yeah,
with
No,
that.
I'm
No,
saying
we're not
that as a
taking it.
disclaimer for you
Yeah.
guys. Like,
Yeah.
I
it's
think
not
he's a
about
good
that.
person. I think he's a good person. I'm just
Wonderful.
saying that it's not necessarily him that I'm on. I'm on the team. This is not his problem. This is the team's problem, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, and it's true. It's like it just raises questions. 10 years you haven't played, you're switching positions to something you never played before, and you get a chance. Like a lot of athletes, getting a shot, that's all you want. Like all I want is a shot to prove myself. All I want is a shot to see if I have what it takes. He got that shot. A lot of athletes, even look at the FCF. You know, we have a Quentin Flowers. We have a lot of players that were amazing in college. They just want that shot. So the question is, you know, did he deserve that shot more than other people? We'll never know, but that's going to be the great debate. That's all we have for Scoreboard. Woo, I like Scoreboard today. Spicy. And now we're moving on to our news segment, Remote Game Show.
Oh, hold up. I'm about to come up with my.
Hey, Suzanne Hebert.
Yes.
This is Renee, and you are live on Remotely Renee for our segment, Remote Game Show.
Well, hello, Renee Montgomery.
Well, hello there. You're here with the Two Lit crew, as you know, and we have 5 questions that you have to answer in 2 minutes. VP, do you have the clock ready?
We're doing 2 minutes or 1 minute 30 seconds?
Oh, it's 1 minute for Suzanne Bear because she's a lawyer.
We're doing 1 minute.
Hey, Two Lit crew.
Hello.
Suzanne.
Hey, Snooka Booka. It's great to see you again.
Oh, it was so great to see you again too, Suzanne.
I love this love fest, but we got to get to the game. Okay, VP, are you ready?
All right. You go.
Okay, Suzanne, for your first question, it is, which planet is known as the red planet?
Mars.
Ding, ding, ding. Which Jamaican runner is an 11-time world champion and holds the record in the 100 and 200 meter race?
Usain Bolt.
Oh my goodness. Which month has 28 days?
February.
All of them. And which
Oh, come on.
in which video game did Super Mario first appear?
Ooh, where's Jacob when I need him?
Ask her if she wants to phone me in.
She said, do you want to phone a friend?
I do want to phone a friend.
Oh no, they know the answers. We don't have that.
Well,
I'm
I don't know
skipping
the
that
answer,
one.
but I think I know the answer.
Oh, VP, what's the answer?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong is correct. You phoned a friend. Name 2 segments from the show Remotely Renee. You have 10 seconds.
IRL.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Okay, so what was
3
that?
out of
How many did
5.
she get?
3
out of 5. Suzanne, I love it. I love it. They wanted me to have way harder questions for you, by the way. That happened they thought that these were too easy for you.
well, so I'm going to say, I hope that I'm so far in the lead, because if someone got 5 out of 5, I'm going to be very disappointed.
She's tied
You
for
are
the
only the second person that we've actually done it with.
He's
So
tied.
it's tied. Y'all both got the same thing.
Damn, I like to win.
I love it. All right, Suzanne, thank you for joining us on Remote Game Show.
All right, thanks very much.
Bye. Oh, I love it here. I love it. That's what I'm going to start doing. So you guys, what we're going to do every week now is I'm just going to call somebody in my phone. You know, it could be LaChina Robinson. It could be Kalena Green. It could be Marshawn Lynch. If your number's in my phone, I just might call you for a remote game show. I love it here. We love games. How do y'all feel about that?
It's great. Are we still going to donate? Are they going to donate? Are we
Oh
going to?
yeah, we need to. I forgot to ask. So Suzanne, I didn't even ask Suzanne about the money aspect, and she was just ready to play the game. But
Yep.
You know what? We're going to donate that money for people like Suzanne, and we didn't even ask you, Suzanne. So sorry. For people like Suzanne, we'll donate the money that you win from the game to a charity of their choice. So I'll follow with her and let her know. She got 3 questions right. So how much money did she win?
She got $60 because it was 3 of the regular questions. She didn't get the Remotely Renee question.
Bomb. So we'll send $60 to a cause, anything of her choice. We know there's a lot of things going on right now, so we want to always have a moments equal momentum type of moment. So I love it here. And so we're going to move on from remote game show to now happening IRL. And so with happening IRL, as we talked about at the top, we have NFTs out, and these NFTs came to life. You hear me? We had artists from all over the world, and we're going to let those artists talk about how they brought the visions that we had onto paper, and then animation, and then illustration, and then all of that. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, Renee, for having us on the show once again. And I'm Jonah Ballo with Hartman Group alongside our head of creative, Elliot Gerard. Part 2 this week, as we discuss Renee Montgomery's exclusive NFT collection. We are the team that concepted the creative behind it, the overall look and feel. We discussed this last week on the pod about how we created sort of this NFT court with a very space-looking technology vibe to it, with utilizing the colors that we use for the brand identity for Renee's show. And this was a unique opportunity where we tapped into our collective with 5 artists from around the world. We know these artists closely. We've worked with them before, and we felt they were the perfect people to really bring this to life. And again, it was all about storytelling. It was about artwork. It was how we can make these NFTs come to life in a special, unique way for the Starting 5 collection. And Elliot, it's so exciting that we have this opportunity because we love what these artists were able to accomplish for this project.
Yeah, I loved working with all these artists in the past and obviously for this project. And they all bring their own strengths and talents to this, and also we're all just a pleasure to work with. That's the greatest thing about this is we built these relationships with all these special people across the world.
All right, let's go out to the artists and hear from them directly about this project and what exactly it meant to them.
Ciao, noi siamo Two Bros Creative, siamo un duo di illustratori italiani, viviamo e lavoriamo a Vicenza, io sono Andrea.
E io Luca. Dedicarci a questo lavoro per noi è stata un'occasione interessante in quanto ci ha dato modo di concentrarci sulla struttura delle nostre illustrazioni, sulla palette dei colori, ma anche di ragionare su alcune delle tematiche che al giorno d'oggi sono molto importanti, il diritto al voto che tutte le persone dovrebbero avere e l'uguaglianza tra tutti noi.
Inoltre noi condividiamo tutti i temi che René va a toccare in questa sua campagna di NFT. E tra l'altro questi NFT stanno esplodendo adesso, quindi è stato molto interessante per noi approcciarci a questo nuovo tipo di arte digitale. È stata anche una sfida creare queste illustrazioni intorno al suo tweet, e super divertente a livello di colorazione e struttura.
My name is Dustin Watson. I'm an artist from Phoenix, Arizona. I was asked to share what it means to me to be a part of the Renee Montgomery NFT project. And for me first, before everything, I'm just so thankful that Heartland Group, that Renee and her team have trusted me to be a part of this project. They've trusted me to bring my style in a way that's cool, but also in a way that pushes myself and expands on what I've done in the past to really provide something that works in this new space and that works for Renee and her team. I'm just so thankful that I was trusted with this. First and foremost. The second, we've seen the NFT space blowing up recently, and I've really wanted to figure out a way to take part in that. And I think this project, working with these teams, with these people, with these creatives who are so amazing and do such great work and have such great platforms, I think for me, it was the best case scenario to be able to work on a project like this. And it's really something that I'm excited for, that I've really enjoyed working on. And I think we've come up with something really cool. And I just couldn't be happier to be working on this project with this team at this time. It really is just the perfect opportunity for me.
What's up, y'all? This is Grab from LA. Very excited to be a part of this NFT. This will be probably my first time really doing the NFT, and it's such an honor to do it with someone such as Renee Montgomery. She's such an inspiring person, and her story is powerful. So I'm very excited, and hope you guys enjoy the design.
Hello， 我是黄玉明，来自台湾，也是这次 Renee Montgomery 合作计划的插画师。能够被 Heartland Group 邀请来做这次的计划，让我觉得非常有意义，因为他们又信任我的创作能力，然后我也有机会可以跟 WNBA 的女球星合作，这对我来讲都是非常的光荣的。那关于 NFT 呢，其实有越来越多的艺术家都是用电脑来做创作的，所以就会有所谓的许多数位艺术。那往往人们都会觉得数位艺术的价值不比传统艺术。但是我希望 NFT 可以改变这个观念，然后我也很看好 NFT 的前景。那最后，我希望大家可以喜欢我这次与 Heartland Group 合作的创作，然后也希望大家会喜欢之后 Renee 和 Heartland Group 之后所呈现给大家的内容。那就希望大家喜欢咯。
I was really excited to work on this project because I've always wanted to look into creating NFTs. Combining that with creating one for Renee is just amazing. I love that she's a role model for young Black girls, and I love her spirit for activism, and that's kind of what drew me in. This project is very meaningful to me as a Black woman and as an artist, and I cannot wait for the images to be finalized and launched.
So great to hear from these artists. And Renee, we can't thank you enough for the opportunity. It was so exciting.
It was really a great collaboration, working with Renee from the beginning, talking about all the concepts. Then us coming, brainstorming together, you and me, Jonah, and then we found the artists, worked with them, created the animations together, and and then brought them into NFT world. So, you know, really such a collaborative, amazing process.
We've seen some of the press coverage in Forbes and people reacting to the unique creative that we were able to accomplish with this. It was such a great collaborative effort with our artists, Heartland Group, and Renee's team. So we're so excited to see this come to life, and there's many more to come. I think this is going to be an exciting space for athletes to work in. So thanks again, and we'll send it back to Renee Montgomery and, of course, the Too Lit crew.
Okay, so what did you think, Cole? Like, what are your thoughts on this international graphic designer flavor that we added?
I actually thought it was a great idea because it gives a different aspect. With different people doing it, it made it a better rounded collection. You don't see the same art in every single one. You see everyone else's take on it. And I thought it was a great idea. That was absolutely wonderful.
I agree. I remember when VP told me that we were going to have some international artists like getting down on the NFTs. And I'm like, what? So I'm so here for it. I love expanding. Like I always love expansion and things of that nature. So, oh, you guys, the NFTs are on sale at OpenSea.com. It's under my name, Renee Montgomery. Go just check them out. Tell a friend to tell a friend because it's different. I know it's different. I know you probably don't know what's really going on, but just go look at them. See if you like it. Bid on it. If you don't, no problem. But just trying to do some things a little different around here. And speaking of doing things different, we're going one-on-one with Roz Gold-Onwude. And when I say it's different, so me and Roz, we have had some battles. We talk about those battles actually in the conversation, but you know, Stanford knocked us out of the Final Four and I'll never forget it. Okay. But Roz has went on to be a rock star in the analyst space, and she's hosting everything. She's with the boardroom. I remember she started out with Golden State. I'm going to talk to Roz, listen to her story. She's a pioneer. I remember Roz was doing it big and I was like, I see you, Roz.
Roz Gold-Onwude, thank you for joining me here on Remotely. We already been talking, so I'm gonna start back before. Okay, so I always ask everyone, did young Roz know that you was going to go on to play at Stanford and then do all? So let me just ask you, what was young Roz thinking that Roz was going to be when she grew up?
Young Roz grew up with a Nigerian father, so I thought maybe I was going to be a doctor. I thought maybe I was going to be a brain surgeon. Fatima, Gisime daughter is a doctor. Look at your peers. What is basketball? But maybe I thought I was going to be a brain surgeon at some point. I mean, early on, I probably thought about being a basketball player. I definitely didn't think I'd be a broadcaster, but I want to make sure to say, the passion for the game came from my mother. And she was the one that, you know, created little teams in Queens, put flyers on the lampposts and got the girls together and the mothers together. She used to take pictures, and she was one of the first people in our community that really understood like websites and used to put our little pictures up for the, you know, little tournaments we played on the websites. So, you know, everything that's kind of going well on the basketball side, even off the court, you know, was started from my mom really giving me a ball and giving me a chance with the game.
I love that. Shouts to the moms, because mine was the same. So I think all of us will have the same type of situation. But also, I wanted to ask you, so you started out, you didn't know what you were going to be. When did you realize that you could, like, you're good? Like, you know, like I always ask everybody, when did you start to realize I might be a little bit above average?
In broadcasting?
No, in basketball. I'm starting young. Oh. We're starting young, because young
basketball.
You were above average, Raj. You got a scholarship to Stanford, and that team.
No, I'm saying I was really good young.
Okay, humble. I was saying, no, boo boo. You was good young. So when did you realize that though? Because a lot of people I've realized with the guys' side, a lot of them be like, yeah, junior high, high school. They feel later that they realized they were good, maybe because they felt like there was a lot of good competition young. But when did you realize that, like, I think I might have something here that I could like look towards to?
Oh yeah, girl. So I grew up, I started playing when I was 4. I was playing up and I was already, you know, just as good as the older kids. I used to play at the park a lot. And I remember after a while, and it was mostly the boys at the park. After a while, I used to come to the court and guys would be like, she can't play. Roz can't play, because I was just so much better. And then eventually then my mom came out and said, you have to let her play. And then it was, it was a fight to let me play. And eventually boys got to the age where they got bigger, stronger, and could jump higher. And they started to, just get better. But for a while, like, that's how it was growing up. And then coming up in New York, I was actually, came out, was the top guard in the tri-state area. Like we have the same stories. People who played college at the colleges we played at, we were all the best in our respective
I want
states.
people to know your story. We might have similar stories, but look, you talked about it. Like, I want people to know your story because I think your story is very, very unique, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I guess I've been this height and size probably since like 5th grade or something like that. So, I was always kind of a big guard. And I definitely came up in New York much more focused on my handle, and I could drive to the basket really strong right. It wasn't really until I went to college and went to Stanford that I learned a lot more about the way to think the game, the cerebral aspects, develop the jump shot. And also there were a ton of other players who were the best in their respective states. And so I learned a lot more about, like, finding my role, finding my lane, and being a part of something big. But when I was young, coming up in New York, oh yeah, no, been good.
Forget about it, okay? And so you ended up going to Stanford. You talked about it having a Nigerian dad. So did that affect your decision for your college? Like, is that why you picked like Stanford, only one of the top academic schools in the nation? Did that have anything to do with it, or was it you let like Tara all the way, the program?
Actually, the first school that was recruiting me was Brenda Freeze in Maryland. And I very much was thankful for that attention and the chance to even have that opportunity. In fact, my freshman year at Stanford, Maryland went on to win the national championship. But right. But Stanford came in a little bit later. And for me, I was coming up in a house that was just, hey, ball and academics. Also for me, growing up in Queens, and I'm very much a very basic kind of Queensy girl, like nothing, we're just regular people, like maybe lower middle class, maybe, the biggest trip I'd taken was an AAU trip, actually, probably like Disney World, to play like that AAU basketball tournament there. And those were my first palm trees I saw. But outside of that, I really didn't get to see them like that. So imagine me going to Stanford's campus and them driving me down, sold, all the palm trees going down to Memorial Church. I'd never seen such luxury in my life. I was like, what is that, velvet? Like, I was like, yo, it's crazy. But no, Tara came for a home visit. Tara and Vanderveer, shout out to the Stanford women's basketball champions. Hey, I'm sorry. I know this is it painful for you. What happened to your team?
That's why I like it, because I mean, like, I get it. I like excellence. So y'all won.
Okay, and y'all been excellent so long. Damn, can somebody else have a moment? Sheesh.
Listen, you knocked us out. So you knocked me out of the NCAA tournament my sophomore year. So I talked about, there's a photo. We were talking about this before the show started. There is a photo, and if passion was in a photo, it would be that photo of you and I going after a loose ball. But to me, it was lit. Like, you could just see that's women's basketball. To me, women's basketball in a photo is that photo. I'm gonna have to get that photo so we can show.
We need that photo.
Yeah.
I hope y'all have Getty's rights images and stuff. Y'all got this.
I don't know. Like, no, we might have to just.
Does the show have that budget?
Yeah, you don't ask permission. You be on the big platforms. Y'all gotta ask permission.
No, I'm sure y'all got it. But we need to get that picture, Renee. You're absolutely right. And it's one of my favorite photos from my collegiate career. We are both just fiercely clawing, holding each other, and you can see it in both our eyes, who trying to get the ball, and the ball is
before it goes out of bounds. You can see the out of bounds line down at the baseline too. Yeah, like
I wonder who got the ball.
I don't know.
It was probably you. It probably
went out of bounds. It looked like it was close enough to actually get it. But that's the point, women's basketball. And I think that's what kind of bonds all of us. Like, right when we got on the call, we started just talking. I'm like, let me start this show so we can talk about this on air. But I feel like there's this common build amongst, it was women's basketball. But now, if you look and you saw the draft that happened recently and you saw the jersey reveal, you can just see that women now, there's this new movement going on where women, we understand that, like, it's our time. I mean, even take you're on these huge platforms, the boardroom. I remember like pumping it up when you were doing the sidelines for Golden State Warriors. I remember being like, Roz, I see you. Can you just talk about just where women are in media now from where, I mean, in 2009, we both like that, we're the same class. So there's been a dramatic jump. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, and I can say the same for you, girl. Like, I'm gonna take this moment to just pour the praise on you and how, you have steadily, right now I feel like it's been an explosion for you, but you've been putting in the work on this side of the broadcasting. And so I'm very happy to see all the ways that you have impact and like your voice really matters and has strength right now, and will continue to do so and grow. So, and especially because you know how we even came up together, it's extra meaningful. And I do actually really remember you always showing love, especially early in my career when, I'm still building up to certain things. And, right now for me, I'm at ESPN in the boardroom. I feel like on one side I'm covering NBA and WNBA with ESPN, but the boardroom is sports business, which I know you're interested on the where sports is meeting tech and crypto and business. We'll talk about it. Yeah. But I feel like you're so right. Like women's sports is growing in attention. The product is great. I think the biggest thing is that so often we have conversations with women about how they've overcome their femininity in a male-dominated world, how they've overcome being Black in the space. But the vantage point is wrong. I think we've really begun to blossom because instead of having conversations of overcoming as though our femininity or our Blackness is an obstacle, we're leaning in on those exact characteristics that actually give us strength, right? Like I, for real, in my career, don't feel that I fully like took off or found my lane or until I leaned in the most into who I am as a woman, as a Black woman, my personality, the things that I care about, instead of trying to hide us or, make us fit in. Like these can be viewed as our unique strengths and perspectives. And that's what's happening with women's basketball. The game has been good and it continues to improve and parity is up, but we're learning more about the causes and passions, like you have shown us so well this summer, that are important to the WNBA players, to you, Renee. And we're also learning like who you are as a person. And like that is what also not only builds interest, but also translates to money too.
Okay, so Snooker Booker, like as we've talked about, y'all traveled to every single Final Four. Y'all was at all the NCAA tournaments, the Big East tournaments. Y'all were always there. Do you remember them battles with Stanford that we used to have?
I do. It seems like, can we not come play and not have to play Stanford?
Yes.
Every year.
It did. It's like when there's the top teams, it does feel like you match up with them a lot and you really don't. But it just feels like that because it's like when you match up with somebody and it's a big moment, it feels like you're always matched up with them. But I agree. It was like, come on, Stanford. Duke knocked us out one year. I don't forget those things. But I digress. Snooker Booker. What you gonna say?
No, I was going to say that every time that we went to a Final Four or even, get down to the Elite Eight, I was looking to see, can we not make it the thing so that we don't have to play Stanford until the championship game? I never wanted to play them until the championship game.
But let me just put a disclaimer. That was my Snooker Booker talking. We were not ducking nobody at UConn. We just that's from Mama Snooker Booker.
That was from our nerve standpoint. That's what it was. This from me and Mom and the family, everybody who was watching, from our nerves. Like, please just let us get by them until we get to the championship and be one and done with it. We didn't want to see them twice. Like
no, and listen, that's a good squad. Shouts to there was Roz Gold-Onwude, Jane Appel. I think Nneka Ogwumike was there at a certain point. Candace Wiggins was balling for them at that point. They were a solid squad. I mean, and there were a lot of teams that we could name 5 players that who they are now, have played in the league that we were playing against in college. It was tough. But like I said, that was good times. I love catching up and seeing, where people are at, what they're doing now, and Roz is killing it. So now we're going to move on to somebody else killing it, and that's my Snooker Booker. What you got for Remote Roots today, Snook?
Okay, well, May is Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
Mental health is health. And as long as we are going to talk about it, we need to talk about the pandemic, you know, how it's affected everybody. I don't see how you can have made it and not have been affected by the pandemic. So today I was going to give you a few things you can do that, one, are free, two, can help you both mentally and physically, and three, make it so that when you get ready to expand yourself out into the new world, you're ready to go. Your mental health is all taken care of. So what I'd like to do first is a little exercise with the Two-Lit crew. So Renee, so first I'm going to talk about deep breathing exercises, which are very important for just preparing your body or whatever.
So you mean tell me you want us to do that right here live?
We can even do it sitting down. So if you're at the office or you're sitting down watching TV or you're sitting at the table eating, you can do deep breath exercises. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. You don't need any equipment, and it's so good. It can improve your heart rate. It can reduce the sodium in your body. I mean, it does things for you that you really need to have done for your mental health. So the first thing we're going to do is
okay. How many things do you have planned for us to do?
We're just going to do one exercise, a deep breath exercise.
Okay.
So,
I don't know if I could do it right now. My nose might be.
Yeah, VP just had a random nosebleed. We're all a little concerned, but we're still just flying by like nothing.
I'll breathe deeply for you, Paul.
Maybe you do need to do this, VP.
Might come out.
Inhaling, and you will inhale through your nose for this. A deep breath exercise, you inhale through your nose. So just take a deep breath and then you exhale.
I do this every morning.
Inhale. Exhale. And again, you can do these for a minute and that's it.
And we also got to catch up with Elizabeth Williams of the Atlanta Dream. We asked her, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. What do you do for self-care?
For me, self-care is journaling. It's something that I don't necessarily do enough or like doing, but I know once I do it, I feel a lot better just reflecting on things that I'm thankful for and just how I'm feeling, because I'm not someone who expresses myself a lot. I'm not super emotional, but so for me, it looks like journaling, like meditating. Sometimes it just looks like watching Netflix and keeping my mind away from things.
So Snooka Booka, I love it. We need to, the whole month of May is mental health awareness. NBA is having NBA Cares events about it. WNBA Cares events about it. It's a real important thing because as Snook said, mental health is health. So I need to make sure I take that as serious as possible. So Snook, I will do my breathing exercises and all that jazz. And we're going to move on to Remote Roses. All right. So for Remote Roses, we have a special guest because it's my guy. I see him all the time. I've seen him at the games. I've seen him on social media. He's been breaking a lot of stories on social media and just following the WNBA. I believe he broke the story of Breanna Stewart signing to Puma. So, B. Terrell, you're doing some things.
To be honest, really, for me, it was just the attention to detail. I mean, I'm a sneakerhead, somewhat, kind of, sort of. And so that's what I pay attention to, the sneakers, those accessories and things like that. And so I'm, peeping the footage from the Storm Media Day. I'm like, wait a minute. That ain't Nike. That ain't no Kobe's. That ain't no LeBron's or nothing. Like, what's going on here? And so I'm like, she rocking some Pumas. And I'm like, okay, so, she came in 2016. So it's been about 5 years. Normally that's about the life cycle of a contract, 4 or 5 years. I'm like, let me do some digging. And then lo and behold, we ran the story and we kind of sent some shockwaves through everybody.
You sent a lot of shockwaves. I saw WNBA Twitter making sure that people credited you for breaking that story. And just so people know, listen, we are here for you, WNBA Twitter. you breaking stories, news popping all the time, but you write for W Insider, you made for the W, you are at our games covering it. What all are you got your hands in?
So I cover, like you said, for Winsider, for Made for the W, Nets Republic as well. And so I cover the WNBA, the NBA, as well as NCAA hoops. And so I love basketball. I love sports, but I really love basketball. And so I'm I guess a budding photographer.
Say it with your chest.
I'm a photographer,
Thank you.
You probably see some of my work, on, of course, Made for the W, Nice Kicks, other things like that too, Soul Collector. So, I guess I'm a photographer.
You doing things. Okay, you are doing things. We're going to have to link up and get a photo shoot going because you're doing things.
Bet.
You also are super fly, and I'm hearing that you launched your own brand. Is it called .7, and it's comfy clothing that you would like to wear covering the games? Talk about it.
Yeah, so it's .7. So I started covering the league professionally back in 2019. And so the last season I was able to see you play.
Yes.
But yeah, in 2019, I started this brand. I basically wanted to find something that I like. I remember I used to try to go to the game all dressed up and stuff, and I'm like, this is uncomfortable. And so I'm like, let me get something that I would like to rock. So it started out with just a hoodie, and then it branched into hoodies and t-shirts and sweatshirts and shorts and stuff. So the name is called .7. And
why is it called .7? Where's that name come from?
Well, so it's a combination of things. .7, it's my favorite. Well, the number 7 is my favorite number. And then that, of course, obviously is there. And then when you think of a dot, you think of a period. A period normally comes at the end of a sentence. And so that sentence, whether it's like doubt, insecurities, all of that. And so .7, basically the number 7 represents, depending on what you believe, perfection or a new beginning. And although perfection might not be possible, it's something that you can always, strive for. So .7, is the end of me basically second guessing myself and going towards the mark of a higher calling. Hey, glory.
Okay, you gotta preach on here. Okay, that's what I like to hear. And so you came here to show some love, give out some roses. Are you ready to start with it? Everybody, y'all got y'all's. We need what is the score? Have you went back and counted, VP? What's going on with that? Because I'm tired of the lies.
I'm gonna have Junior work on it.
I have 3.
I have 6. You have 5. Paul has 4.
So you definitely don't not. You definitely
that
don't.
Ain't right. I got about 7. Maybe I got about .7. No. I got about .7 wins. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Okay. No. But we'll figure that out later. Be okay, because we're very competitive, as you can see.
I've noticed. And I think only one person has been able to stump y'all.
Yep.
2 now. 2.
Oh, 2. Recently, Poison Ivy, DJ Poison Ivy stumped us.
So Jazz and Poison Ivy.
Yeah. Yep. So what you got? Give us hint number 1 or rose number 1.
Rose number 1. I can't say this one. It's okay. You've seen them in Nike, ESPN, Elle Magazine, and Sports Illustrated. Ooh, no, but you see, no, I'm not gonna give it away. Never mind. No.
Okay, Paul VP guess Liz Cambage. I guess U.S. Women's Soccer. Any other guesses before we go to hint number 2? Give it to us, B.
Go ahead.
Okay. Because of their vision, you've seen Gabrielle Union, LeBron James, and D Wade as just a few highlight them.
Oh, this is interesting.
And notice I keep saying them.
Oh, this is pronouns like
no. So multiple people. For them.
Okay, just making sure because we are inclusive here on this
definitely,
pod. So.
Definitely, always.
Okay, so them.
Oh, wait.
Oh Lord. No, wait, what's that?
I said WME.
No.
Okay.